one race remains in the 2025 Moto2 European Championship season, and what a race it promises to be. After 10 brilliant rounds so far, it all comes down to the final day. Unai Oradre heads the standings with Milan Pavelich, Alberto Ferrandis and Alberto Sura, all hoping for some race 11 slip-ups. For the second year in a row, the title will be decided on the final day. Will Oradre follow in the footsteps of recent champions like Roberto Garcia, Senna Aegis, Lucas Tulovic and Fermin Aldeguer? Or are we set for a dramatic last-minute turnaround? It is time to go racing in Valencia. Barcelona played host to two Moto2 races last time out, which saw title momentum swing one way and then another. Eric Fernandez started on pole and got the perfect start as Alberto Ferrandis and Milan Pavelich slotted in behind. Unai Oradre worked his way through the field and the number 10 moved into the podium places shortly before Jung-Soo Kim retired from the action. Owen van Tricht also crashed out of contention, leaving him frustrated, but no such problems at the front for championship leader Oradre, who took over the lead of the race as Fernandez and Ferrandis battled for P2. The front four remained tight, but it was Oradre who took the win. Fernandez getting the better of Ferrandis for P2 and Pavelich in fourth. Race 2 saw the same riders in the fight for victory, with Ferrandis leading early doors. However, Pavelich's pace proved superior and the pole took off out front, and Ferrandis and Fernandez renewed rivalries. Pavelich stormed to a second win in the campaign, with Fernandez once again beating Ferrandis to second, while Oradre came home in fifth. All of that means the number 10's advantage is 10 points ahead of the title decider. Welcome along to Title Showdown Sunday in the Moto2 European Championship. The sun, as you can see, is shining down on what has proven a crisp and chilly weekend in November, but Sunday conditions have definitely picked up a little bit in terms of heat around the circuit. I am Chris Jordan, bringing you coverage today, and I am delighted to be joined, as always, by Conor Doherty. We have already had one title showdown race in the European Talent Cup. No spoilers here just yet, but let's just say it was a little bit dramatic. Might be the understatement of the year. Conor, can we hope for more of the same here in Moto2?
I think the Moto2 European Championship has delivered from start to finish in this 2025 campaign. It's been absolutely fascinating. We've seen some tremendous rides, some tremendous riders as well, and they've been delivering right from the beginning, right from the start of this campaign, and I'm fascinated to see how it's all going to finish up, because there's a lot going on.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been a fascinating year in 2025 in Moto2, and hopefully it has a fascinating conclusion. Plenty of riders in contention, no rider less than Eric Fernandez, who's on pole position.
Muy contento de el ritmo que estamos haciendo este fin de semana. Nos vemos, la verdad, que muy rápido, y daremos el máximo mañana en la carrera para llevárnosla.
A 1:33.144 then from Eric Fernandez sees him start on pole position once again. He's still waiting for that breakthrough victory here in the Moto2 European Championship. He was the pole sitter, of course, last time out in Barcelona. That was his first Moto2 pole position. Backed that up with a double P2, but he's waiting for that breakthrough win. Is this the day he finally gets his gun?
I mean, it could well be given the caliber that he's shown, if he can maintain that form from Catalonia, bring it over to Valencia, a bit down the Mediterranean coast here in Spain. And given his performance in qualifying, there's no reason to think he's not capable of delivering here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo on what is a absolutely fantastic day, as you mentioned earlier in your introduction there. The sun is shining. Now we've got a message there, get well soon, Tonio, from Xavi Zurutuza.
Yeah, Xavi Zurutuza with a get well message. And he will start from the front row. Zurutuza, talented rider, Zurutuza, double podium back in Magny-Cours. And of course, podium in Misano. He'll be looking as well to convert his front row into victory. He did have that DNF back in Aragon race 1, if memory serves me correctly. He was doing plenty of the front running, but unfortunately his fairing encountered some damage. What a big day it is then for Unai Oradre. Does he look nervous to you, Connor? Not particularly. A kiss and a wave to the camera, and he is locked in and focused. This is, of course, a title-deciding race. Unai Oradre is our title leader, and he has a 10-point advantage to spare over Milan Pavelich. Pavelich is starting from 4th on the grid. Alberto Ferrandez and Alberto Sura are also still in with a chance of the title, but they would need a couple of slip-ups from the riders ahead. It seems most likely that this is going to turn into a shootout between Pavelich and Oradre. Oradre starting from outside of the front row.
We can take a look at the grid now for this Moto2 race. It's Fernandez on pole on the front row. He's joined by Zurutuza and Oradre. On row 2, Pavelich, Mongiado and Ferrandez. On row 3, Artigas, Watley and Sura. Chris just mentioned that, one of our title contenders. Then on row 4, we've got Voigt, Ludenia and Mayor. On row 5, Morosi, Felon and Kersevan. On row 6, it's Ruiz, Gutierrez and Yambias. Behind then, in what's sure to be a thrilling race, on row 7 it's Jimenez, Gimbert and Palomero. On row 8 it's Moore, Lolly and Ruda. And on row 9 it's Toth, Al-Gubaisi and Van Chicht. And then at the back, on row 10, Eisenkol, Emmanuel and Kim.
Just about ready to get underway here then in Valencia for the season finale in the Moto2 European Championship. The warm-up lap first, of course. So just to bring you a state of play ahead of lights out, Unai Oradre is our title leader. He holds a 10-point advantage over Milan Pavelich. Pavelich, at least, if he wants to, must score at least, if he wants to win the title, which I'm sure he does, must score at least a top 5. A top 5 at a minimum for Pavelich, and that's taking into account if Oradre does not score. Alberto Ferrandez must get a P1 or P2 if he is to have any hope of taking the title, while Alberto Sura must win. And that is not taking into account any points which Oradre scores. So if Oradre is on the podium, it will be game over. Oradre, of course, has 3 wins to his name in 2025. He's got 3 further podiums to his name as well. He has been incredibly consistent throughout this campaign, and that has put him in the position that he is in with, I wouldn't say would we say commanding, comfortable advantage, 10 points in a season finale. It is a commanding advantage.
I'm not sure it's commanding, given the caliber of the riders on track here and the fact that in Moto2 we have seen absolutely anything and everything happen so far this year. 10 points. He'll be happy to have those 10 points. Whether he'll feel comfortable is a very different thing. I mean, we very much got the sensation in Catalonia that this had become a bit of a shootout between Oradre and Pavelich. I mean, with Oradre getting that win and then finishing P6, and then conversely Pavelich finishing P4 and then getting the win. Those two really very much in contention here to give it absolutely everything they've got. And we've, of course, only got one race for them to do it in.
Yeah, absolutely. So a top 3 for Oradre will guarantee him the title. After that, permutations come into play. We will have a live graphic standing, so don't worry, you won't have to rely on our very, very poor mathematical skills, as they have been found out a couple of times already today, I think. So, moments away from lights out. Unai Oradre, the number 10, starting outside the front row. Eric Fernandez, the number 4, launching from pole position. Xabi Zuratut in between them. Who's going to get the whole shot? We are racing already here in Valencia. It's a good start for Zuratut. It's a good start for Pavlic. The number 44 has fired himself into second position with Fernandez out in front. He has gotten the whole shot. I think I saw Alberto Fernandez in there too. So not an ideal start for Unai Oradre. He's down in 4th position with Pavlic up into 2nd.
Yeah, absolutely. A great start from Fernandez, it feels like, as well there. Yeah, he's moved himself up to P3. So absolutely fantastic start for him after.
Yeah, the title contenders have made a play early on here to put the pressure on Oradre. We have a couple riders out there at the back. We're not sure who that is just yet, but one of them is less than happy anyways with another. We'll bring you coverage of that once we know a bit more ourselves. Is that one of the... It's a QJ motor machine down as well. Is it one of the American racing machines as well down the back? I'm not sure.
Get confirmation of that as soon as we can.
Double check it. But Eric Fernandez is leading over Pavlic, and it's Fernandez then ahead of Oradre. So the title fight is on and wide open here. Fernandez, remember, as well as Pavlic, both need to win here. And that's a 72 of Ruiz coming back in. Oscar Gutierrez, another rider out of the reckoning. Oscar Gutierrez, it's been...
Ruiz now.
Yeah, Johan Gimber as well. Oscar Gutierrez, frustrating campaign for him, ending in a frustrating manner. Mario Mayor, stock champion. And Pavlic is going to make a move here into turn 1, is he? Shows Fernandez the front wheel. Pavlic there eyeing up a move on the inside going into turn 1. Will turn 2 be a better opportunity? Indeed it will be. And now Pavlic is leading. If Pavlic has the pace here, he could gap Eric Fernandez. And where's Unai Oradre? He is in 4th position. So title fight very much game on. Is that Xabi Zuratut? I see charging into 4th place as well. It is indeed. Xabi Zuratut is on the charge here. So Oradre shuffle back to 5th position.
And just to note that Abdullah Al-Kubaisi has moved up 9 positions on that opening lap. So absolutely fantastic stuff from him.
Yeah, Pavlic visibly there. You can see he's put a few bike lengths between himself and Fernandez. Fernandez and Fernandez then in the podium positions. They're about to renew rivalries. Both races in Barcelona as Eric Fernandez lunges up this inside of Milan Pavlic at turn 11, and then there's a shake and a wobble and a nod of the head, and now Alberto Fernandez has come charging through. So Fernandez is now leading, Fernandez in 2nd, Pavlic has dropped to 3rd, Zuratut and Alberto Soda have come through on Oradre. Oradre is going the wrong way here.
Yeah, excitement right from the off here in the Moto2 European Championship. We just saw some of Pavlic's fans there, but it is Eric Fernandez who's leading for the time being. He's also got Eric Fernandez. Pavlic is currently sitting in P3. Is he going to try and make a move here as we go into turn 1? Not quite close enough, but the drama is on display in Moto2. Another absolute classic already.
Yeah, Lorenzo fell on then with the fastest lap of the race, but the action out front is incredible, as Connor rightly mentioned. Fernandez and Fernandez, they were battling each other for 2nd as sparks fly on track. So all that means Oradre is going to be your champion if things remain as they are. Fernandez leading. Pavlic does need to cut through on Fernandez here to get himself back into contention. But Fernandez and Fernandez have got history, recent history in Barcelona. Fernandez got the better of Fernandez both occasions that time. but it's Fernandez who is leading in this one. What about Milan Pavelich? Can he find a way through on Eric Fernandez? This is an electric start to the Moto2 European Championship title decider.
Yeah, and the spectators, I think this is exactly what you would have wanted in these opening laps. Drama, just 5 points separating the top three here. This is absolutely electric stuff. And we're just seeing that Zuratusa, Pavelich there, Oradre just behind. They're all watching each other. Who's going to be the one to make the move here? They're all together.
Yeah, is that Pavelich going up the inside of Fernandez? It is indeed, and he needed to make that move, I think, because Xabi Zuratusa was crawling all over him. Fernandez has a little look behind him. I think Fernandez could be in a bit more trouble here. Zuratusa looks to be on the march here. That's a 134 flat from Alberto Fernandez out front, so Pavelich is looking to get the hooks into him, and indeed Eric Fernandez has been picked off by Xabi Zuratusa. Does Fernandez number 4 have a response? Nothing going yet. Zuratusa is on the march here. Zuratusa has got incredible early pace, so Pavelich and Alberto Fernandez need to watch out. Fernandez did just set the fastest lap of the race, a 134 flat. That was matched by Milan Pavelich, while Xabi Zuratusa did a 134.1. He's got a bit of open road ahead of him now. Will he reel in Milan Pavelich, or will this front three group up into a victory fight? Where is Unai Oradre?
He's just moved up to P4 there.
10. I think our pole sitter Eric Fernandez has got an issue.
Yeah, it might well be the case, because Oradre just seized an opportunity there. We just saw it on the edge of our screens for the briefest of moments. He made the overtake there on Eric Fernandez to move into P4 and can now try and chase down these leading three, but it is Fernandez who leads for the time being. We thought he might be able to pull away. Pavelich is not allowing that to happen whatsoever, and neither is Zuratusa, just behind.
Yeah, Eric Fernandez, our pole sitter, has been overtaken by Pavelich, Zuratusa, Oradre in quick succession. And that was important that Oradre got through on him as well very quickly, because it seems the front three have got a pretty incredible pace. High 133s that time around. Unai Oradre in the 134.2. So the front three had a few tenths of a second over Oradre, but Oradre now has open road ahead of him. Let's see what he records at the end of this lap. But brilliant pace being set by Fernandez, Pavelich and Zuratusa.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to say actually there that the gap was about 0.6 of a second. It seems to have gone up now to 7 more or less. But this is the first time that Oradre's had clear space. He's got clean air in front of him now to try and utilise and get ahead. He's got to try and reel these leading three in, and now he's got his opportunity.
Absolutely, Fernandez leading out front. Pavelich has a look on the outside there. He's not close enough just yet to make a move coming through turn 8. Nothing going for them. Has Oradre closed the gap? There's about 0.5 of a second between Oradre and Zuratusa.
It's coming down.
Yeah,
it's coming down.
You can visibly see is that Oradre is getting a little bit closer to Zuratusa ahead of him. Alberto Sura, remember, is in this fight as well for the championship, and Alberto Sura looked like he was trying to make a move on Eric Fernandez there. Fernandez has stabilized as well somewhat. He was sinking backwards, but he is holding Alberto Sura at bay. The live championship standings, if you throw the checkered flag out now, Unai Oradre will win the title by just 3 points. If Pavelich can get ahead of Alberto Fernandez, then it is all changed. Fernandez, there's nothing more he can do. He needs Pavelich and Oradre to go backwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And the atmosphere is absolutely electric here now. It's really palpable here, the atmosphere. And there we have Zuratusa setting the new best race lap, 1 minute 33.784. So Zuratusa currently in P3, but he is the fastest rider on track in Moto2 right now as he tries to chase down Pavelich and Fernandez, sorry.
Don't worry, it's a tongue twister at the best of times, Fernandez and Fernandez. And indeed, it looks like Fernandez does indeed have a technical problem of some sort. As you see, he pulls out wide there. He has got the technical flag waving for the number 4. So Eric Fernandez is out of this race. Alberto Sura then can begin chasing down Unai Oradre in 4th place. No movement between the top 3 yet in terms of positions changing. Zuratuza though closing up onto the rear wheel of the number 44. Unai Oradre, he's still hovering about half a second behind the lead group here, which will suit him down to the ground as things stand. Of course, we saw him work his way through the field in Barcelona to take victory. It is still very early doors here in Valencia.
Yeah, very much so. And given the pace that Xavi Zuratuza is setting at the time right now, well, I wouldn't be ruling him out of his first win in this class either. Look, is he going to be close enough to make a move? Not quite. Frustration there for Eric Fernandez.
A huge disappointment for the pole sitter. Double P2 in Barcelona. Picked up his first pole in Barcelona. Backed it up with another pole here in Valencia. But unfortunately for him, through no fault of his own, he is out of this race with a technical issue.
Yeah, he'll be, I think, devastated given the performance, and you can see it there that he put in all weekend. Very unfortunate for the young Spaniard.
Absolutely, disappointment at his home Grand Prix as well. Now, the front 3 look to have closed up once again on each other as they come around turn 8 once more, but nothing going between them. We're just waiting now. When will we see Pavlitz show Alberto Ferrandez a front tire? Will he even get close enough to Ferrandez? We're just checking our timing screens here. They're matching each other pretty much through the sector split times, so Pavlitz just can't quite close the gap on Ferrandez just yet. A reminder that if Pavlitz does get ahead of Ferrandez, that would put him as a provisional 2025 Moto2 European champion. Xavi Zuratuza has opened up a 1 second gap to Oradre. So has Oradre got the pace to go with these front 3, or is he just holding something in reserve for crunch time a little bit later? Zuratuza, it looked like he was lining that one up. Maybe into turn 2 though. Turn 2 is a popular overtaking hotspot here. Nothing going either then. He doesn't fancy it just yet. There are plenty more opportunities coming, but it does seem he is building the pressure on Milan Pavlitz in 2nd place.
Oradre's playing a bit of a dangerous game here as well. Like, with those front 3, he's not in control of exactly what's happening, and he's slipping further and further behind now. The gap is currently 1.4 seconds, more or less. And with the pace that the front 3 are setting, Pavlitz is very capable of moving ahead into the top spot.
Yeah, and it has to be remembered that the 2 riders behind Oradre are of a significant pedigree in this Moto2 European Championship. Alberto Sura is, of course, a race winner. He's sitting 4th in the championship standings. It looks like he won't be in among the medal positions, but he will want to chase down Oradre for the pride, and the number 43 of Xavi Artigas as well. Double P5 in Barcelona in just his 2nd outing in the Moto2 European Championship this season. And he is a rider who could do some damage if he gets a little bit of pace. As we see, Eric Fernandez is going to rejoin the action. You never know what could happen, of course, in the Moto2 European Championship. A red flag could come out and hand Eric Fernandez some reprieve. But out front, it's calm and composed from our lead trio. Alberto Ferrandez got himself in front very early doors and has not looked back. We've been watching the number 85 building the pressure on the number 44 of Milan Pavlitz. But when will Xavi Zuratuza feel comfortable making that move?
Yeah, he's set the fastest lap so far. He's been incredibly quick, but he's also seemed to be content to hang back just a bit behind these leading 2 of Ferrandez and Pavlitz. Maybe biding his time. He's definitely a rider with the experience to know what he's doing. So we'll just have to wait and see when he thinks that the time is right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Zuratuza, that gap to Oradre is at 1.144 seconds. So it's over 1 second now for quite a time, about a lap and a half, I think it is, while the front 3 just not showing each other a front wheel at all just yet, just checking out their sector.
Oh, but there goes Zuratuza. Is he going to be making the move now? It looked like he might have been taking an inside line there whilst we're focusing on
Oradre
Oradre.
has a little wobble in the left leg there, getting it back onto the foot peg. But has Zura2 made a move? Not quite just yet. Yeah, they're matching each other for pace across all the sector times. All three of them on a 21.4 in sector 1, 25.1 sector 2. 22 flat though from Alberto Ferrandez. Has seen him open up a bit more of an advantage through there before they once again matched each other. Pavlic and Zura2 strong through the final sector, with Ferrandez conceding some time there last time out. So they are pretty much matching each other stride for stride. Francesco Mongiardo then, the number 49, leading this chasing pack in the battle for 7th.
It does look like Josh Watley here,
there, yeah. Josh Watley is on his tail, and Marcus Ladenia as well in that fight. So precious points on offer to end the season on a high. Here, this is going all the way back to, I think, Lorenzo Felon at the back of this group, the number 5. It is indeed Lorenzo Felon who is in there. So this is a battle for 7th down to 12th.
This would be very good for Mongiardo, I think, because he started the season in such strong form with pole position, P2 and P3 in Estoril, so a double podium there. And he's not really managed to reach those heights since then. He did get a P6 in race 2 in Aragon, of course, but maybe in the second half of the season we haven't seen the best of him, which we were able to see in our race opener.
Yeah, and there's been a change in the championship standings. Oradre still leading, but only by a point, and that is because Alberto Sura has gotten ahead of the number 10. That happened off screen. Oh, and now there's even more drama because Oradre had slipped behind Xavi Artigas. We were mentioning it only a couple moments ago that these two riders are of immense quality at this level, and Oradre was a sitting duck for both of them on that lap, it has to be said. So Oradre now has got to pull the pin out. Alberto Ferrandez is winning this race. Oh, and Xabi Zura2 has taken P2, so that puts Oradre back in control of the championship. But what control does he have realistically? It's all open here. Now, does the pace of Sura and Artigas, it was a 1 second gap back to Oradre previously. They are closing in. It's gone under a second between Sura and Pavlic. So keep an eye on that to see if that gap comes down. It might even tow Oradre into play again, into the top 3. As you can see, Ferrandez has indeed opened up a few bike lengths advantage to Zura2. So Ferrandez is within 4 points of the 2 points of the title, excuse me. But unfortunately for Alberto Ferrandez, there is nobody behind Unai Oradre to challenge him and take more points off him.
I'd still be reluctant to say that this was Oradre's game plan coming into the race.
Yeah.
He's no longer really
He's relying on favours.
Exactly.
He's relying on favours from both Ferrandez and Zura2. Milan Pavlic, though, is very much in the fight, it has to be said. Milan Pavlic, as things stand, needs 2nd place. And it looks like Oradre is losing even more ground here. Oradre is in all sorts of trouble here, Connor. What did he do last time around? His best lap time was 1:33, but last time around it was a 1:34.6. Everyone ahead of him, Artigas and Sura, 1:34.3, a 1:34.1. Pavlic was the slowest of the top 5 with a 1:34.5. So Oradre is lapping very slowly here. There's a 7-second gap to Mongiardo, so he should have top 6 covered. So he's now depending on Zura2 and Ferrandez to do him a favour and take the top 2 places in the championship. So an intriguing final race here, Connor. It has to be said, Oradre, as you quite rightly mentioned, it's not really in his hands anymore.
No, and he'll be expecting favours, but not too much of a favour, because, well, he could lose very much that top spot. Just 2 points in it between the top 2 for the time being. But the real question is Pavlic, who is just 4 points behind, currently in 3rd in the championship, which just goes to show how close this is.
And on that last lap, yeah, sorry, just to go back to the lap times, we did think Oradre is in a comfortable 6th, but if he continues at his current pace, Josh Watley is in 7th. And okay, there are 6.5 seconds between them, but Watley was lapping half a second quicker. And if Oradre's slide continues, he has stabilized it somewhat, Oradre, that time around, a 134.5. And the riders ahead are quicker. Monjardo did a 135.2, so you would have to imagine Oradre will be okay. The gap is too wide with 4 3/4 of a lap remaining. But Pavlitz then, it's all on the 44. Can he find something? Can he invent something across the last 4 laps? Find some pace?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very difficult circuit, we've said it before, in terms of being able to overtake. You've got to try and take advantage of any errors, maybe make a move at turn 14, for example, move on the inside. We've seen it at turn 2 as well. There are opportunities available, but Pavlic has to make sure that he's in a position to do so. He's currently P3. At the beginning of the race, it looked like he might be able to get ahead and pull away. That hasn't happened, but no other rider has been able to do so either. It is currently Ferrandez who is leading Zurutuza and Pavlic in our top 3. Our podium finishes as it stands, but we've still got 4.5 laps to go here.
Yeah, that was Jung-Soo Kim, who you saw just running a little bit wide as the riders come around to lap him, cleverly just staying out of the way. So it's all on this. Eyes on the number 44. The number 54 of Ferrandez is only 2 points behind in the championship, but we remind you that he is doing his absolute maximum, and it seems that nobody is going to challenge Unai Oradre behind the number 10. So if it stays like this, Ferrandez in first, 6th place will be enough for Unai Oradre. However, Milan Pavlic is the rider we need to watch. The number 44, he's sitting in 3rd position. Last time around, he did a 134.1, matching the pace of Xabi Zurutuza in P2 and slightly quicker than Alberto Ferrandez out front. If Pavlic makes a move on Zurutuza, makes it stick and comes home P2, then the pole will be our European champion in the Moto2 class in 2025. So, all to play for. It goes without saying, of course, Connor, but it is all to play for here. We're just wondering, will Pavlic get close enough to Zurutuza to make a move? You'd imagine that the message will have to be sent to him somehow, but through the board or dashboard, that he has to go all in for this.
Yeah, absolutely. The problem is that the rider in front of him is also the fastest rider on track. Xabi Zurutuza has been sensational in this race. He's sitting in P2 right now, but you get the feeling that he's still got something left, and it might be him that makes the move on Alberto Ferrandez and tries to claim that P1 spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you'd imagine he has to go.
Just overtaken Josh Watley there as well.
Yeah, Morosi is working his way through. That chasing group will not catch Unai Oradre. There was a moment we thought it may, because we saw them lapping half a second quicker, but regardless of what happened, you would have to say that Oradre is a pretty safe 6th place. Of course, anything can happen up ahead of him, but the message has to be sent to Milan Pavlic. While a podium would be wonderful, the prize on offer is much, much bigger. The question is, can he catch him? And he might have some problems mounting behind him. Xavi Artigas is absolutely flying around this circuit. Ricardo Tormo. Artigas is currently in P4. A 134.2 last time around. Slightly quicker than the guys ahead of him by about a 10th to Milan Pavlic and 2/10 to Zurutuza. So Artigas not out of the podium fight at all.
Yeah, he's done really well. You have to remember as well, he started from the 3rd row. He started from P7, and he's managed to thrust himself into this battle here at the front.
Yeah, absolutely. So keep an eye on the progress of Artigas. But no change in the front 3. And yeah, you can see Artigas is visibly closing up there. He is much, much quicker on circuit. He's got a 10th in his back pocket in a couple of those sectors. Coming through this current lap, we've got yellow flags out in sector 2. It is Jung-Soo Kim, the lapped rider, who has crashed out of contention. So Around the line we come again. 3 laps to go. There is the, 2 laps to go. There is the live championship. Unai Oradre holds on to the championship lead, but only just. Alberto Ferrandez is putting it under all sorts of pressure. He is going to win. He's winning this race, but that won't be enough for Ferrandez. It's the number 44 of Milan Pavlic we have to keep an eye on. And Pavlic looks like, has he made a move? We saw a little change there. As we see, is this what happened to Jeong Soo Kim? Oh, that's a nasty crash for the South Korean rider.
Yeah.
Hopefully he is okay. But we saw our live graphic there change very quickly. Let's hope he is okay. And Milan Pavlic has moved into 2nd position. Jabi Zuratuca, something has happened to Zuratuca. And Milan Pavlic is in 2nd. It'll come down to race wins indeed. Actually, they will tie on points. So Pavlic has 2 race wins. Oradre has 3. So Pavlic has to go all in for the win here.
Absolutely incredible stuff there, Chris, with your homework, working out all the possibilities. Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff from Pavlic there, getting ahead of Zuratuca, who we were just praising as being the fastest rider on track. And it seems that Milan Pavlic was just biding his time there. If we can just see the move,
here we
exactly
go,
what happened.
He's just gone,
on the inside, yeah.
Brilliant move. Brilliant
Just forcing Zuratuca to
block pass.
Yeah.
Brilliant stuff from the pole, and now that has
he's got the opportunity
into this title
fight. It is the last lap as well.
The last lap of the 2025 Moto2 European Championship, and Ferrandez has gone down. Ferrandez has gone down. He is out of the running. Is Alberto Ferrandez. He had victory at his mercy, and he is out. Milan Pavlic is now your race leader. Milan Pavlic is now the championship leader.
The fans are screaming.
The drama is alive and well. Pavlic is taking the lead. Zuratuca in 2nd. Oradre is in 5th, but that will not be enough for the former championship leader. Milan Pavlic, though, what type of pressure is he going to be put under by Jabi Zuratuca? You can see it there, the devastation down in the team box. Te 55 team box. What a terrible few moments for them, because they had Ferrandez, who's going to win the race, crash out, and now Unai Oradre is not the championship leader. Pavlic has opened up a couple bike lanes.
Yeah, this is absolutely incredible stuff. Drama here on the last lap. We knew Moto2 was going to deliver. And who was watching on as we saw that crash? Well, it was Unai Oradre. His dreams of winning could have just come to a dramatic conclusion here, Chris.
Only a couple corners to go for Team Milan before they can start their celebrations. The pole looks set to be crowned Moto2 European Championship in the most dramatic of circumstances. He navigates the final corner with ease. The number 44 is your Moto2 European champion. Sensational late charge from Pavlic. He picked off Zuratuca with 2 laps to go. Then Alberto Ferrandez has crashes out at the first corner of the final lap. Unai Oradre has come home in 5th position. And I am lost for words. That is an absolutely phenomenal end to the Moto2 European Championship season. Muted celebrations at the moment, but not down in the team box. I think they can hardly believe it. I can hardly believe it, Connor.
I think that was an end to this race which could not have been scripted. The last lap, we barely even said we're on to the last lap, and then we see Ferrandez come crashing down. And it was Milan Pavlic who was in place to take the race lead. There he is with the Polish flag. Absolutely incredible stuff from Milan Pavlic. Absolutely incredible. As you said, lost for words. And there's a reason why. That was infinitely more dramatic than anyone, even he himself, could have believed.
It beggars belief, Connor. It beggars belief how the Moto2 European Championship
We said it at the beginning.
Decided. We said, I was just
anything
about to
and
say,
everything can happen.
Anything and everything can happen in the Moto2 European Championship. We opened the season in Estoril, where Alberto Ferrandez and Eric Fernandez crashed out of the lead. Milan Pavlic was on the podium in that race, and he crashed out. He recovered to pick up some points, and how crucial those points have proven.
Well, Oradre doesn't seem to have taken it too poorly there. He is celebrating the culmination of what has been a fantastic season for him with a celebratory wheelie. And it has been a fantastic season for him, but the last lap is what it came down to. And you can see what it means
bizarre
down
moment for
me there.
Alberto Ferrandis on that last lap. Pavlic was beginning to put on the pressure, but we did not see that coming at turn 1.
It didn't look like
losing the front very early on and opening the door for Pavlic to take victory and the championship.
Simultaneously, I mean, I cannot imagine the adrenaline, the emotion, the happiness that is going through that man's mind right now.
Absolutely sensational from Pavlic. Years old and the new Moto2 European champion from Poland, Milan Pavlic. Absolutely sensational. In the most dramatic of circumstances, it has to be said. But when he was given the opportunity, he did not flinch. He did not blink. And he sailed home to victory here. His third of the campaign. Only victory would have done. Second place would have put him tied on points with Oradre, who was running in P5 and P6 at the time, and Oradre would have taken it on a tie break. But then Alberto Ferrandis, crashing out at turn 1, handed the championship and victory to Pavlic on a plate. And it has to be said, he is a deserving winner in his rookie campaign here in Moto2. A third win of the campaign, 2 further podiums to go with it. Numerous top 5 and top 4 finishes, even on his off days. Incredible from Milan Pavlic, and hear the noise. And the celebrations. Let's take a little listen in. So they all gather around Parc Ferme. We will hear from Milan very shortly, of course, as Conor makes his way down to Parc Ferme, but the celebrations begin. Confirmation 2025 Moto2 European champion, the number 44 Milan Pavlic of the AGR team. Stepping up from JuniorGP in his rookie campaign. That's also seen him debut on the Moto2 World Championship stage in Brno. What a year it has been for Pavlic. An incredible story, and the year capped off in simply the most incredible and dramatic way. Xabi Zurituza, amid all the celebrations, let's not forget about Xabi Zurituza's brilliant ride. Started on the front row, dropped back early on, but fought his way back and had incredible pace. Looked like he could have challenged for the victory at one point. And Xavi Artigas, who started further back on the third row, came charging hard late on to pick up his first Moto2 European Championship podium. Superb result for Artigas. here is the key moments from that race. With about a lap and a half to go, Milan Pavlic made his move on Zurutuza. He was closing in on Ferrandis, but look at that, Ferrandis in the lead. Just lost it very early going through turn one and sent flying through the gravel trap. He can hardly believe it. We can hardly believe it. Ferrandis, of course, will be in the Moto2 World Championship next season. Another serious talent coming through from Spain, and very deserving rider of that Moto2 World Championship seat. But he'll have an inquiry of what went wrong at that corner. Milan Pavlic will care little of the results of that inquiry because he's the Moto2 European champion as a result. And I think he can hardly believe what's unfolded on that last lap here in Valencia. Absolutely sensational, sensational racing. Milan Pavlic is our race winner here in Valencia. He is also the Moto2 European champion, and he is down in Parc Ferme with Conor Doherty.
That's right, Chris. First of all, Milan, massive congratulations. It's been an incredible year for you, and what a race here in Valencia. Drama from start to finish. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. Everyone came here to support me, and we made it. We made it with my family, with my AGR team here in Valencia. Last run, last race. A lot of emotions, but yeah, I know from the beginning I need to be in the front. I was pushing like a hell. I see in the board that P1 is enough to win. If I cross the finish line, I almost cry under the helmet. It was something incredible. I will not. I don't know. I want to celebrate, and that's all. Thank you so much.
And can you tell us in Polish, please, exactly how you're feeling now?
Pierwszy debiutancki sezon w Moto2. Cała rodzina przyjechała tutaj mnie wspierać, wszyscy znajomi. Wszyscy. Z moją rodziną z AGR-a tu jestem, z którymi wygrałem. Cieszę się bardzo. Może nie wyrażam tych emocji, ale w sobie mam tyle, że nie wiem. Wiedziałem, że muszę być w pierwszej grupie, wiedziałem, że muszę być w tej czołówce, żeby wygrać. Widziałem na tablicy, że pozycja pierwsza wystarczy, że Oradre jest nieco trochę dalej, więc jak już tylko zobaczyłem, że jestem pierwszy i przekroczyłem metę, to już nie mogłem naprawdę. Popłakałem się w środku w kasku, ale to wszystko dzięki wam i dziękuję również wszystkim sponsorom i Bogu za to, że cały i zdrowy dotarłem tutaj, gdzie jestem. Dziękuję bardzo.
Congratulations again.
Eric Fernandez started from pole position in the season finale Moto2 European Championship race in Valencia. Some early drama as a number of riders crashed out, including Mario Mayor, Oscar Gutierrez, Yaray Ruiz. Fernandez, though, slipped into second position as Alberto Ferrandis began his charge into the lead. Fernandez sunk backwards, with Ferrandis leading over Milan Pavlic and Xabi Zurutuza. Eric Fernandez having to retire with a technical problem before he rejoined slightly later. Unai Oradre was running in fourth position, but not for long. The then championship leader was overtaken by Alberto Sura and Xavi Artigas, dropping him to sixth and blowing the championship fight wide open. At this point, he was still leading the championship, but only just. And sixth place looked like it may have been enough with Alberto Ferrandis leading. Milan Pavlic had to win to take the championship. This is Jung-Soo Kim crashing out in a big crash. Then, coming towards the finale, Milan Pavlic made his move on Xabi Zurutuza, and before he could even make a move on Ferrandis, the 54 crashed out on the last lap at turn one, handing victory and the Moto2 European Championship title to Milan Pavlic.
Time
for the podium ceremony here after A chaotic, a frantic finale to the Moto2 European Championship season. And look at that, the Polish flag sandwiched in between the two Spanish ones. And the team representative from AGR. Up on the podium, Xavi Zurutuza coming out after Xavi Artigas. They embrace one another. Xavi Artigas bringing a flag in memory, of course, for Pau Alsina. Well, Milan Pavlic then. Hearty congratulations all around, and a wonderful interview, it has to be said, Connor, afterwards. I think he could hardly believe it himself.
No, I really don't think he could.
Mr. Nicolas Collado then, the director of the circuit here, handing out the prize to the team representative from AGR, who very much milks the celebrations. And you know what? Why not?
Yeah,
a day to remember for the team.
Absolutely incredible. What a race. You could really feel just what it meant as well down in Parc Fermé.
Xavi Artigas picks up his first Moto2 European Championship podium, as does Xavi Zurutuza picks up his P2, his latest podium. And a big leap of joy for Milan Pavlic as he picks up the winner's trophy here for the race, and of course for the year itself. What a hearty rendition then of the Polish national anthem, sung in full voice down here at Circuit Ricardo Tormo. I don't think it's happened too many times before, so they met that one count. Absolutely joyous scenes here, Connor. What a result for Milan Pavlic. And they nail the spraying of the Prosecco as well. A moment young Milan Pavlic will never, ever forget. A name to remember, of course, in the future.
Yeah, absolutely incredible stuff. And he's brought a lot of fans here to the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. And that's why the national anthem was sung with so much enthusiasm there. And rightly so.
Absolutely amazing celebrations down there. That's how you celebrate a title.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal stuff.
We can now take a look at the final results of what was an incredible race. It was Milan Pavlic with the win, followed by Xavi Zurutuza and Xavier Artigas on the podium. Alberto Sura finished P4, Unai Radre in P5, Mongiaro in P6, Josh Watley in 7th, Alessandro Morosi in 8th, and Ludenia in 9th. It was then Lorenzo Felon who finished in P10, Harrison Voigt in 11th, Borja Jimenez in 12th, Enej Kursavan in 13th, Facundo Yambias in 14th, Palomera 15th, Maxwell Toth in 16th, and Rossi Attila Moore in P17. Behind them, Marcus Ruder in P18, in 19th, Christian Lolly, Abdullah Al-Kubaisi in 20th, Owen van Tricht in 21st, Joanna Eisenkolb in P22, Eric Fernandez, who rejoined, finished in the end in P23, and Uri Ruiz in P24, with Alberto Ferrandez crashing out on that last lap. And also failing to finish, Kim Emmanuel, Gimbert, Mayor, and Gutierrez. And then we have a final Riders' Championship standings after a sensational season in the Moto2 European Championship. It is Milan Pavlic who wins, ahead by just 4 points of Unai Radre. Alberto Sura finishes in 3rd. Ferrandez drops down to 4th. Xavi Zurutuza in 5th. Mongiaro in 6th. Eric Fernandez 7th. Morosi 8th. And Uri Ruiz finishes in 9th. Daniel Munoz in 10th, Jean Jimber in 11th, Yambias 12th, Gutierrez 13th, Xavi Artigas in a fantastic 14th, Cruzes in 15th, Tapia 16th, Harrison Voigt in 17th. Now we've got Felon in 18th, Palomera 19th, Moore 20th, Garcia 21st, Josh Watley in 22nd, Jimenez in 23rd, Kursavan 24th, and Ludenia 25th. And then at the bottom of the standings, we've got Lolly in 26th, Volpi in 27th, Mario Mayor in 28th, Ramos 29th, and Lorenzo Somariva in 30th.
A dramatic season concludes in the most dramatic of ways. Milan Pavelic is crowned 2025 Moto2 European champion, and it's very well deserved.